Hey everybody, welcome back. So I bought myself about an hour of time today, so I'm going to see what I can get accomplished on this van. I'm going to try to, what am I trying to do? Hook electric fuel pump up to the gas line and see if it pulls anything out of the tank. So I'll do that first. Shouldn't take too long to figure that out. We'll be hooking the fuel lines back up. Well, I went to Nampa. I picked up thermostat outlet, or housing, whatever you want to call it. New thermostat, gasket, upper and lower hoses, and I think I ordered brake lines. Yeah, I ordered brake lines. I think I did. So let me see what I can get accomplished in let's see, 52 minutes. So let's see what happens. I know this looks like some mad scientist shit going on, but I assure you this is perfectly safe. So I tried the rear tank, nothing came out. I'm gonna try the front tank. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these things are empty. Figure that would have done something, right? So, interesting development. I don't think that pump's any good anymore. I couldn't get it to suck anything out of the van, which is a good sign. But then I put 3 gallons of fresh gas in the front tank. Still couldn't get it to suck anything out. So I put it directly into a gas can. Still wouldn't suck anything out. So I think that's a wash. It's the only one I have. That's the only one I have here. So I still have 26 minutes. Yeah, I wasted a lot of time doing that. All right, I'm gonna get this fuel pump hooked up. Yeah, I'll get this fuel pump hooked up, and that might be all I have time for right now. So it sucks. This is one of the drawbacks of working full-time self-employed and trying to work on my vehicles and take care of my son by myself. So it is what it is. I'll deal with it. So unfortunately, this was a very short and unproductive day. I did hook up the one fuel line. I did notice that the gas gauge does now move with, like, I think I put like 2 or 3 gallons in the tank. So I'm pretty confident this tank was empty. So I don't know if the previous owner drained the fuel tank already or what, but pretty confident that the tank was empty to begin with. Unfortunately, I have lots of rubber line to go from here to here. You know, that's a little, what, 6 inches? Maybe 8. But it is unfortunate because it's all transmission oil cooler line. Yeah. I need to get some 3/8 fuel line. I don't have any here at the warehouse, unfortunately. And it's starting to rain, because look at the sky. Yeah, it's looking a little frightful there. Seems to be the theme lately. So I'm gonna pick up my stuff. And call it a day. I'll get back to this tomorrow, I guess. my life. All right, weather's finally cooperating enough so that I can get working on this van again. Look, I got a fuel line. So let me grab something to cut this line with. And let me turn my notifications off my phone because it's going crazy. Having problems with eBay. It wouldn't let me print a label for one order. And so I asked on the one eBay group I'm in if anybody else ever saw this error message. And they tell me, oh, the site must be down. Just try again. Okay. So if the site's down, how am I able to print a label for the item before it and the items after it? And then go back to that one and not be able to print a label. Site's not really down, is it? So I go back on. I'm like, okay, has anyone ever encountered this exact error message? Oh, the site must be down. Like, we already went through this. The site's not down. So, whatever. Just how people are. I think they're just like trained from birth to give a standardized response to people. I don't know. Whatever. You tell I'm a little aggravated right now? Yeah, I'm a little aggravated right now. All right. Let's work on this. Oh, there's my clamps. What the heck that was. Whatever. All right. So where I think I left off last time, I was getting this fuel line on. So let's get this fuel line on. All right. There to there. So, while I got you here, talk about that car I found yesterday, why it's not worth saving. So, this van, for example, they're not super desirable, but they do have a following, and they don't make a lot of body repair panels for them. So it makes sense that it's worth driving a little distance and bringing back ones that don't need a ton of body work. Because let's be honest, is it really worth replacing full quarter panels on these and rocker panels? And no, it's not, especially since the parts are pretty hard to find. So you have to basically find a donor van that has those parts. In which case, you're better off just starting with a vehicle that doesn't need those parts. So, I know I keep moving you guys. I'm sorry. Because these aren't worth nearly enough to put all that work into. So, the 53 Victoria, granted, it is a two-door, and it is a Victoria. It's great. I guys can't hear me because people, this is the first time I've ever done that. Usually they just put stuff in the dumpster if you're done with it. So anyways, 53 Victoria. Is it a good looking car? Yes, it's a good looking car. Is it desirable? Well, I think they're about as desirable as these vans. So yes, people look for them, but do they go out of their way to find these and pay up for them? Not really. This is not working out. Let's try a different angle here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab something I won't slice my hand open with. Alright, I'm back. Nice and noisy too, you know. Every time I decide to do work out here, it's nice and noisy. So, Victoria. Is it a good looking car? Yeah, I think so. But let's be honest, not very desirable on the totem pole. Alright, I gotta move you because you guys are actually in my way. So let's put you right here next to me. So So 53 Victoria, you could find a nice solid example that needs no rust repair. I bet if you look hard enough, you could find one for about $3,000 that needs like no metal work. So, are you going to pay above scrap price for one that needs full quarters on both sides, both front fenders, floor work, etc., etc.? Unless the car's sentimental to you, no, you're not. It makes no sense at all. So unfortunately, that car is not worth saving. It's not worth me putting any time into to get running or save, or it's just not, it's not feasible. Unless the car is like sentimental for me, which in a way it kind of is, but not exactly, because it wasn't that exact car that I owned. And I could just as easily go out and find one that doesn't need all that. I know you're going to argue with me that, well, the car came with quarter panels. It came with fenders. Well, it came with the wrong quarter panels. So they're going to need some work to, you know, make them useful to the car. So, and again, what's it going to cost you to install those full quarters? Probably about $2,000 per side, to be honest. $1,500 to $2,000 per side. So there you got $4,000 into fixing the rear quarters on a car that you can go out and replace for like $3,000. So again, makes no sense at all to do the body work and fix it. But it's got a ton of good parts on it, because the cars from out west, you know, that don't rust out, the interiors get like destroyed from the sun. Let's put that there. So all the interior parts of this are good. Well, you know, seats need to be recovered, but you know, the dash is in great shape. Everything's still usable. It's just so excellent parts car. So that's why it's not worth saving that car. It's just not, you know, it's a shame to let it go, but it's just not worth it. What I'll probably end up doing, I'll probably lop the nose off of it, the wall art, because it's honestly worth more as wall art than actual pieces. And part the rest out. Now, if it was a 55 or 56 Victoria, it'd be a different story. It'd probably be worth fixing, because those are actually desired cars. If it was a Crown Victoria, it'd be even a different story altogether. So, even 49 to 51s were more desirable. Just 52 to 4 are just, I don't know, they kind of fall on deaf ears as far as desirability goes. let's be honest, they're kind of boring looking cars. All right, back to work. But look at that, that fuel line on. Now I got to do the one up by the carburetor. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. I'm blind. All right. Why didn't I use this fuel line? Well, it's the wrong size. I kind of wedged it on there, so. All right, I gotta put you down for a minute. I don't know how I didn't notice this before. Somebody's got like brass elbows on here. I don't like that. I don't like doing stuff that's not, you know, factory. Oh, come on. Especially since everything's loose. That's not cool, man. Like, this is gasoline we're messing with. You don't want all that shit loose. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's a good thing this guy didn't finish this thing. No, not Silas. He didn't work on this. I think I know why they did this, because they put this aftermarket distributor in. I think they're afraid that the fuel filter wasn't going to fit. So I guess I'll find out soon enough, though. So it looks like this actually should work without all these goofy ass elbows. Is it there? No. The plug wires are kind of in the way, but well, it's threading in. All right, let me tighten that down, get a line on there. So I don't know why they put that elbow on there, because that actually fits totally fine. There's enough room to get at that cap. So, whatever. I did find another problem. This vacuum line, it's the wrong size. It's barely on there. It fits loose actually. So that's something else I'm gonna have to address. I'll go see if I have a vacuum line. Doubtful, but who knows. Well, guess what Jim ended up having in the warehouse? Vacuum line, it fits. Look at it sliding off. Made it a little longer too. All right, it's another thing, you buy abandoned projects from other people. You need to figure out where they left off, why they left off there, and figure out what they did wrong. So, like all this crap, this was not needed for the fuel line. You might be able to use it for extracurricular activities, but definitely wasn't needed for the fuel line. It's just extra BS. That there. No, I don't do those extracurricular activities. Got friends do. Not me though. Do I care? Nope. Don't care. You do you. Alright. That on. Alright. I think I have time. I'm gonna replace this try to replace this water outlet. So I gotta get this hose off, and hopefully these bolts don't break. I hope I'm not foreshadowing. Better not just jinx myself. Should be 2 half-inch, well, half-inch hex. So, all right, let's get that done. These bolts were super loose, so I'm glad I did this. Looks like somebody was in here once before. I don't know why they didn't replace this housing though. Oh boy, that they didn't replace it, but they sure did try and put a band-aid on it. See, that upsets me. This housing was like 10 bucks for a new one. Instead of just replacing it, they smeared a bunch of copper paste all over it. Oh, that's really bad. Well, they at least put the thermostat in the right way. Hey, they put the thermostat in right. Copper pellet towards the engine. And the weep hole, well, they had the weep hole at the 9 o'clock position. The weep hole should be facing down. That's the weep hole down there. Allows everything to drain back. Alright. Thermostat's probably good, but I'm going to replace it anyways. Because cheap peace of mind. Jeez, that gasket was hardly even sealed. That copper stuff, they'd smeared all over it. That's pretty clean, actually. So it should be pretty straightforward putting a new one on. There I am foreshadowing again. So there's a new housing. I'm not going to worry about that sensor on top. It was like a, it's like a vacuum. It's like a ported vacuum sensor dealio. It's mostly for emissions, and this didn't have any of the emissions crap hooked up to it anymore, so not gonna worry about it. So that came with a nifty little Allen plug. So always remember, install the copper pellet towards the engine, and if it's got a drain bag valve, which this one doesn't appear to, which is unfortunate. If it's got a drain back valve, try and point that facing down. So, thermostat housing's got a little relief in it right here that the thermostat sits in, like so. And then you put the gasket over that, just like I did with the fuel pump. A little bit of RTV on the gasket surface, both sides of the gasket. So I'm going to take care of that because I only have so many hands. All right, that back together. I was on the phone with the post office. I've had more lost packages in the past month than I have in the past year. It's real bad right now. And that was about a package that disappeared like 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to have to refund the guy like 120 bucks because the post office isn't taking responsibility for it, even though they said they can't figure out where it's at. Just really sucks sometimes. Just like I had 3 returns shipped back to me. These returns are a cost of doing business, but you can't, evaluate the returns unless you have them in your possession. So I had 3 of them shipped back to me in the past week, and I got a substitute postman who isn't delivering them to my house. I don't know where he's delivering them to, but they're definitely not going to my house. And apparently one got found yesterday and re-delivered back to my house. Still didn't make its way to my house. So I don't know what the hell's going on. It's starting to get really aggravated. About $250 in refunds this week that I have nothing to show for. So it's, and most of them were just like people saying, well, it didn't work for them or they changed their mind. So in most cases, the people are telling the truth. and I could resell that item. Well, if I don't have the item at all, I can't resell it. So, oh, let me get this hose back on. Oh, I just saw this. I don't know if you can see that little cut right there. I don't know if that's all the way through, if it's going to be an issue. I guess I'll find out when I fill it with coolant. I don't know, maybe I'll just replace that while I'm here. I don't know. All right. What is next? Should I try to start this thing and see if it pumps fuel? Or should I continue doing things the right way and finish hooking everything back up? I think I'll finish hooking everything back up. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Going to have to, so I think this is the one for, the oil pressure. Gotta figure out how to get that on there. Where's that one going? I don't know. I'll have to see if I get that back on there. Alright, I think I got the oil pressure setting unit hooked back up. Well, I got about 10 minutes left, so let's see what I get done in 10 minutes. So I got the radiator sitting in here. And so I pulled this bolt out and set it down. And I have no idea where I set it down. So, yeah, I'm losing it. Great. Awesome. Spent half the time looking for stuff that I lose. I can't believe I did that. Where'd it go? It's not here. I take the bolt out for the radiator. I set it down up here. And now it's gone. Well, I gotta stop today anyway, so I gotta wash up and get home. So, see you guys back here tomorrow. Figured I'd show you these. Really funny, actually. I just sold a set of these this morning to a guy. He drove from Iowa, like 6 hours away. These are Hooker side pipe headers. They've been out of production for like 30 or 40 years. I got them for a few different vehicles. But I ended up with a bunch of them from one deal a few months back. And I sold a few sets right away. And I just sold another set this morning to a guy. And oddly enough, I just got a question about a set as I'm trying to show them to you. So that was weird. But, all right. So I got a couple free hours. So let's see if we can get this van done and make it drivable today. What do you think? Get it done? All right. Let's get at it. I don't know what it's leaking since yesterday, but whatever. Show you where I left off. Oh, look, somebody left their smoking device here. All right, so, you know, I was kind of wrong about this yesterday. I started thinking about it. It's not really for emissions, it's for, okay. It's for the heater valve, I believe, but, I'm not gonna worry about heat right now, so. And this is pretty corroded, it's like stuck in there. So I'm gonna have to get a new sensor if I do anything with it. So yeah. So today my goal is to finish hooking up this radiator. I still don't know what I did with that bolt from yesterday. Nice if I can find that bolt. I don't know what I did with it. but I've got extra bolts, so no big deal. All right, well, I found that bolt. It was all the way down there. Well, radiator is in, shroud is in. I've got new hoses to put on, and I found new hoses laying in the back of it yesterday, so now I have extra hoses. It's okay. I might be able to use them. I might have another one of these vans, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You get the idea. All right, trans lines and radiator hoses. Yeah, let's do that. Little A. It was nice that makes me think they had this thing running without the radiator in, is they looped the trans line. So makes me think that they actually did have it running like this. Well, I should have seen that coming. Nobody ever accused me of being intelligent. That's a lie. Lots of people have. So you really should be using a line wrench on this, but I can't find my 5/8 line wrench here. So we'll gingerly use open end. Gingerly. There's someone out there with the name Gingerly. Alright, hoses are on, fuel lines are on, trans lines are on. Am I forgetting anything? Still need to find a breather for it. Not really worried about that right now. I'm sure I have one somewhere. I got a whole other parts fan sitting in my storage lot. Pretty sure it has one on there. That out of the way. Worried about the AC right now. Hope this radiator's good. Well, they took the time to paint it and everything, so I'll trust them that it's good. All right, well, let's see what she does. Pretty sure dumbass me left this door open all night, so I'd love to blame it on somebody else, but I think it's my fault. Please stay running. Please stay running. Uh-oh. It's not pumping fuel. I was afraid of that. Oh, you're not pumping fuel. Let's get a new fuel pump in there. Come on. You can do it. Alright, put some more fuel. So it's possible I just didn't put enough fuel in the tank, or the pickup's not working. So, but I have 2 tanks, so worst case, well, hopefully worst case, I'll go run out and get more fuel to put in the other tank and then try that one. Alright, so I don't think it's pumping fuel up to that carburetor. Definitely has some fuel in the front tank. I'm going to go and get some more fuel to put into the rear tank and see if I can get it working that way. So I'll be back in a little bit here. Alright, I switched over to the rear tank to try that one, see if it gets anything out of there. Right now it's just running off of the bowl. They filled the bowl. just running off the bowl. Damn. Pull that line off and see if it's fuel pump's even pumping anything at all. Yeah, I pulled that fuel line off. It's bone dry. So I'm going to try to turn some of these sounds off. It's very noisy out here today. I'm going to try to blow through that line and see if maybe there's an obstruction or something. I don't know what else to do. Oh, hang on. So I just pressurized the tank. It works sometimes. It's I think it acts like a reverse siphon. Forces the fuel up through the line. See if that made any difference. Made no difference. It's definitely long enough to get the fuel to start pumping. I wonder if that selector valve's not working. It's the only thing I can think of right now, because it's odd that neither pickup would be working. So somewhat interesting development. I guess we'll find out, right? Always use jack stand whenever possible. Anyways, there's the tank selector valve. And what's this? That's the power wire. It goes to it. And look at that. It's not hooked up. So that could be an issue. Unfortunately, I had very limited wire to work with, so couldn't get a crimp connector on there, but let's see if that changes anything. And unfortunately, if this doesn't do anything, I may have to stop here this week and say this is the end. Okay, I'm not gonna start singing. All right, see if that changes anything with this. Oh, now we're on an extreme angle right now, so I don't know if that's gonna help me or not help me. And poof, nothing. So unfortunately, either I'm gonna have to bypass that valve, figure out what's going on with inside the tank. All right, well, I'll see if I have any extra fuel line again. I don't think I have enough here. If I do, I'll try to bypass that that selector valve. I'm disappointed, I really am. I really wanted to end this video with me driving this thing without having to refill the carburetor every 30 seconds. All right, so I cut the line. Well, I tried to loosen the line coming out of the tank, and fuel started seeping out of it. Okay, that's good. So we have fuel coming up to the valve. I took the line off. It comes out of the valve, and no fuel came out. But then when I pulled it all the way down, and a bunch of old fuel came out. Not a bunch, a little bit. So I cut a little piece of steel line and basically clamped the line coming out of the tank to the line past the valve. So I bypassed the valve. So primed the carburetor. I think the battery's still hooked up. Let's see what happens. Well, I should have stayed running longer than that. Huh. Usually stays running longer than that. The fuel I put in the tank, or the floats, so. Did I get somewhere? Did I make it work? I think I made it work. Yay! So the valve doesn't work. Fuel pump works. I might have enough time to take it for a short drive. Let me get this air cleaner back on. You know, screw the air cleaner. This thing ain't got no coolant in it, so I think a success will be if I can get this thing turned around. Oh, the door's open. Oh well, whatever. It drives. It drives. It really drives. Look, we ended the video on a positive note. It starts, it runs, and it drives. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with me all week. And yeah, I'm gonna get cleaned up and go enjoy the night at my camper. So, it runs pretty good. Next up, we put coolant in it, of course. Get air cleaner on it and take it for an actual drive around the block. All right, see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out.